Ray and I have had several conversations in my office on the phone about the whole process. And now, as much as we've communicated, I feel like I'm blindsided with this next piece of information.
Here we go.
Well, Kim showed up. This is Kim Stoker with Whoopiter. Many of you already know him. With possibilities of funding. Does anybody remember Barry Fay and White Pine?
Yes.
Anyway, that concept was brought up at a business meeting with Bart Stupak earlier today, and Kim thinks we're better than 50%. Kim, could you address that a little bit and some of the things that we need to do? And I think that we don't have to backtrack. What we're already doing is online with getting what we need done.
Thank you, Frank. I've been at Whoopiter 31 years now, almost 32. I write grants, I administer grants, and as I jokingly say, if I hung around long enough, they'd make me boss, so that's what I am. As the executive director. We serve 6 counties, Ontonagon is one of them. I was here in 1995 when they closed White Pine. I was the one that wrote the grants that the Michigan Jobs Commission that got the plan done. I brought that up at today's business meeting. Believe it or not, the government does react, but it doesn't react as fast as we want to. But after I heard that how difficult it is to get money, to hire someone, and as long as that takes to get the right person, government does react pretty fast, because we've already started with Tom Baldini to say back in '95 we did that. We had a plan, and we wrote a grant to the EDA, the Economic Development Administration. And I think the government in total spent about $3 million at White Pine, and it was successful. We have an industrial park there, we have a few businesses, and without all that taking place, we wouldn't have White Pine Power. The refinery now is talked about closing, but there's a possibility that it might stay open because of what the Urbana project is going on down the road. Tom Baldini opened up a dialogue with EDA again and said, what can they do for us again to react to this, what we're calling an economic disaster again, because that's what it is. At the same time, remember though, that over in Baraga County, Terex just closed, and they're going to top 30% unemployment. I there went in and I started to call the Superior Supplier Network, if you've heard of that. If you haven't, it's the fabricators I got together and I said, you need to do business together. I went and I got money from the MEDC again, and I sent a trade mission to Canada, and those suppliers, we now have a website, and on Friday they will vote if they're going to hire a full-time sales marketing person. So that again, and they're going to announce hopefully their first contract with EMP down in Escanaba. So I just try to put a little light in there that things can be brought together. Baldini opening up this with EDA again is they've said, all right, let's start out with, we need a position on the ground because that's what we're hearing from you people, is that you want an EDC person over here, and I agree with you. I got a full-time job already. I can't meet, and I'll be going for 14 hours today. And tomorrow I'll be doing the same thing, and on Friday I'll be in Baraga with Bart, and we'll be talking about what they're going through down there. So anyway, this dialogue started out with, can we get money from EDA? And I'm doing this for 32 years. The first thing I did was pick up the phone and ask Jack Price at EDA, he got any money? Because without the money I can't get it done. Jack said, well, we've got a little pot here and we've got a little pot there, we can get you $50,000 or $60,000. I said, $50,000 or $60,000, how long is that going to last me? How's it going to, what can I do with 50 or 60? I need 100 or 150,000 in order to do it right, and that's what you're talking about. If you want to get a person, and this is what I told the Baraga County Board of Commissioners also, when they were pressed by a businessman over there that said, we need an EDC person on the ground here. I said, you have a population of less than 8,000. How much do you think you can afford to pay a position that's worth his money, or her money, to do what you need done? Do you think you can raise that kind of money without the government's help? And of course, the answer from the commissioners was no. We can't do that. So Frank asked me what kind of chance do we have for this in order to get some money from EDA. And When we did Barry Fay was employed with Whoopin. We paid him, and he worked for your EDC. And right now, EDA is in a position, they're saying, we can't just put that kind of money in Ontonagon County again. We want you to make sure that it's a region-wide EDC person, okay? So we've already put together a 2-page description of your issues and your opportunities, which we have submitted to EDA already. And with Amy Bergstad's help and Sherry Davies, that's Stabenow's and Levin's representatives that were here tonight, and Ann Jousman Miller, which is the governor's aide here, we're going to also ask the MEDC to support that position. Whoopiner really doesn't want to. This scares me again because we had to hire, and I listened to the gentleman on what you have to go through to find the right person. That, to me, is a scary proposition, that if Whoopiner is going to employ another position that does this coordination, we're going to have to go through, and I'm going to ask my commissioners, because John Pelcola and Dale Parent are on my commission, and I'm going to be asking for one representative from each of my counties, western 6 counties, to sit on a search committee. Because I don't want to hire that person again without somebody else's eyes on it and making sure that person can fit the bill.